A quorum is present. A quorum is present.
The items on the just raises your housing authority. Close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council and agency members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider approval of the adoption of a resolution finding the city of Inglewood to be in conformance with the Los Angeles County Congestion Management Program by approving Inglewood Annual Local Development Report.
Notice of hearing be given in the
Notice has been given and affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
No communications have been received.
Mr. City Manager, the staff report.
Yes, Mr. Atwell will present it.
Welcome, Mr. Atwell.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. The item before you is a recommendation to conduct a public hearing and receive input from the public regarding the adoption of the resolution finding the City of Inglewood to be in conformance with the LA County Congestion Management Program, and adopting the annual local development report. The state of California requires all counties to prepare and regularly update a congestion management program to monitor and mitigate the impact of local growth on regional transportation systems and better integrate transportation and land use planning. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or MTA, acts as the congestion management authority for Los Angeles County by collecting information about development activity from local governments. The local development report includes building permit issuance data for the period of June 1st, 2015 to May 31st, 2016. Conformance with the Congestion Management Program is required to assure receipt of state gas tax and other funding received through the MTA for transportation improvement projects. Therefore, staff recommends at the conclusion of the public hearing that the Mayor and Council approve the resolution finding the city to be in conformance with the Congestion Management Program and adopting the local development report.
Thank you,
That
Mr.
concludes it.
Atwell. Are any persons present who wish to comment on the matter? Close public comment. If there's no council comments.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Consent calendar items 2, 3, 4, and 5.
So moved.
approval.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. 4-1.
Staff report recommending an ordinance be introduced authorizing amendment to the contract of the Board of Administration of California Public Employees Retirement System.
Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. I'll introduce and move item 3.
Second.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no oral reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1.
There are no reports from the city manager's office.
No reports. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I did purchase a Fannie Mae bond this morning, $2 million worth. It's the interest rate is 1.50. It's a 5-year non-call for 1 year, meaning that I will have the bond for at least 1 full year before it is called. Interest rates are still quite low, so this was about the best that was out there. And again, it will mature in 5 years with 1 full year of call protection. In all likelihood, it will be probably called within 1 year. And also, just to make a quick report on the actual bonds that I have actually purchased. The total bonds are at 28 million. This is the cost basis, 28,658,839,000, and the market value of these bonds a little bit higher, 28,712,974. And the CDs that I've purchased is 2,750,000, but the actual market value of these CDs is $2,824,360. The total bonds and CDs purchased is the The cost basis is $31,408,839, and the market value is $31,537,334. And just a quick update on student debt. Like we mentioned last week that the student debt is 1.3 trillion, approximately 121 billion of federal student loan debt is in default. That's more than 700 borrowers that are in default, and the average student loan is between about is actually less than $10,000, and the interest rate on these loans is roughly 4.29 to 3.76 for the academic year 2016 and 17. And also, just a quick update on property sales. They're still going quite well in Inglewood. There's a property at 3661 West Luther Lane sold for $695,000. One on 3429 West 80th sold for $650,000. One at 8712 8th Avenue sold for $570,000. So the properties are definitely doing quite well in the city, and there's a number of others that have done quite well. One at 9825 6th Avenue, 500,000, 552,000 on 6th Avenue. So the properties are doing quite well actually throughout the city. So I just thought I'd mention that, and I think that's. Oh yes, Congress also passed a measure last year allowing student loan debt collectors to auto dial borrowers on their mobile phones, and also people in default could have their wages and tax refunds, of course, confiscated. Those that are behind in their student debt, but they are working to lessen the burden of the student loan debt because many of them are graduating with a great deal of student debt, particularly in law school.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor.
Madam Treasurer.
Thought I had 5 more minutes. Okay.
Any person wishing to address City Council on any matter connected to city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time.
Council, Leroy Fisher, First District. You know, last week I gave you this information with regard to the cameras for the police officers. The county is moving forward to do that, and I wonder if any of you read it and had any comment on it with regard to our officers. I hope that you did. I got a couple of problems. Number one, we have a marijuana shop at 420 Manchester, and we also have that smoke shop at Fifth Avenue on Manchester. Mr. Dotson, you said that they were working on it, and I wonder, with regard to council, are there permits, number one, for those things, and how can we go about getting rid of those things that are not supposed to be here anyway? Is anybody going to comment on it? It's a negative for the city, and I hope that there is movement to get rid of those negative things here.
Mr. Fisher, it's against city ordinance to sell marijuana, medicinal or otherwise, in a non-inpatient facility, and therefore it's a business license violation. We don't license that, and when you enforce business license violations, you have to collect evidence, and that's why it usually takes 3 to 4 months of inspections, finding people in violation, and then taking them to court civilly for violating our business ordinance. So yes, we have these pop up from time to time. No, unless it's dispensed in an inpatient facility like a hospital, you're not allowed to sell marijuana here. Okay?
That's fine, Mayor. It's just that it's happening,
And it continues to happen. People continue to try and take advantage, and as they pop up and we find out about them, we
Granted.
close them.
Yeah, and it's been going on for some months now, so thank you.
All right. No, thank you very much. And that was 420 what?
420 Manchester.
I'm sure. Would you write that down, Sarge? I'm sure we're already on top of it.
Already know about it.
Hello, good evening, council and staff. First of all, I would like to say I praise you guys for what happened a few weeks ago with the protest on the 405. I think it was handled accordingly with the history of the mayor being an officer. I think everything was good and peaceful, and I don't want to say you should stand up and be an example of peace to the rest of the world, but I think that's what we're working on here in the city of Inglewood and in the county of Los Angeles. I also like to say the youth are eager for unity, peace in our communities, and most of our youth are artists. They're very artistic, and they would like to promote their peace through arts, and the way we do that would be just to help the youth progress their dreams of peace and art. That's all I like to say.
Thank
today.
you, sir.
Hello, Mayor, City Council. I'm Wayne Spencer. I'm here to invite the City of Inglewood, City Council, Mayor, to our Jamaica Independence Celebration, which will be at Holy Faith Episcopalian Church this week, Sunday. Services start at 11 o'clock, followed by great celebrations, fantastic food, and it's been a historic thing here in the City of Inglewood. So especially artists want you guys to come along. I also want to introduce to you Giselle. She's part of the Jamaica contingent and performed in the World Championships of the Performing Arts, and she was crowned World Champion Model. So she was a winner, And we think of Inglewood and Jamaica as being one supportive place. So I brought her the first City Council meeting she's ever been into, any kind of governmental meeting. I thought was a great experience. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, council members. There's so much to say, it's kind of humorous. So I will go ahead and suggest to you that the first time that the nice green cross building was pointed out to you was at Christmas. And by my calculation, it's been 8 months. For those of you who don't know where that building is, go to the McDonald's on the corner of Locust and Manchester, and you'll see the great big green cross. I'm not sure why these are mysteries. It's been there since at least, I don't know, much longer than since before Christmas. So while I appreciate your making that nice little statement, it doesn't quite ring as real as, some of the other things. Kind of like looking at the chamber book. Can someone tell me where our second hospital is? Because I know where Sentinel is, but our chamber book, where 2 of our leaders signed off, says we have 2 hospitals, and I just can't find the second one.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. Renal Davis, 2nd District. I was going to speak on something else, but the gentleman who came before me mentioned something important. It was regarding the peaceful protests of several weeks ago. I think how it was handled was very intriguing. Perhaps it could be used as a model all over the country. The city is made up of assets. And our most valuable assets, some of our most valuable assets, are people who wear a badge and represent our community. And to have them standing out on a line, ready to get hit in the head with a brick, is no way to waste valuable assets like that. So I like the way it was handled. And maybe the rest of the country can learn something from it. And now, my last 7 seconds, things are moving. In my neighborhood, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house that had been heavily vandalized by a family was remodeled, and it just went into escrow for $400,000. Another place that's up the street from me that went in at $375,000. So things are starting to happen. That's good, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Alfonso Parker, Jr., Vietnam veteran, 6667. My phone number is 323-842-3363. I'm sorry. I've been speaking for the longest about I'm a Vietnam veteran conscious objector. But like I've been speaking about the VA, it's a rogue terrorist organization. It was created that way. Our congressmen, even Hillary Clinton, violating national security clearances. You lose your security clearance, national as well as domestic. I've told you I've had one ever since I was 18 and a half when I got out of high school. I lost it in 1990 because it was inactive after retiring at 88. And they review every 2 years. When you mess with your security clearance or you violate it, you lose it. Don't have to wait on no FBI and everything else, you lose it. She has no right She can't be president, I'm gonna be honest with you. But we need her, I'm gonna vote for her, because she's lesser of two evils. But she has to lose it, and she cannot be president because she cannot have access to classified material. My number is what it is. It's a rogue terrorist organization. They operate differently than we do because they're up here. But nobody this side of heaven can violate the Constitution. I keep ramming it down your throat. I don't care who the hell you are, how low or how high. You cannot operate out, around it, through it. The Constitution rules. Come see me. My number is what I said, 323-842-333. Vote for Hillary because she needs to lose. We got a vice president, there's a chain of command, but she has no business being president. If you did the same thing, I guarantee
Counsel, you go as long as I let you go. You're done, sir.
Huh?
Your time's up.
Can I get another minute?
No, sir. No, sir. I let you go over as it was.
My name is Willie A.G., and guess what? I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. You know, after 20 years here, sitting in this seat here, I can look back and see all the city council, the staff, and I can tell you this, the success of any city depends on the leadership, from the top down, that staff, elected officials and everything. This city has everything it needs to be successful. I have never come here and stayed here 8 minutes and finished the work of this council, for this city. 8 minutes. I've sat here until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and never got one agenda item passed. That's not representing the people. You know, all of these people here have an opportunity to come up here and express themselves, but, you know, only a few people do it. And, you know, I just can't, you know, all the cities throughout the United States should look at the city of Inglewood and see what kind of leadership they have here in this city. And maybe some of them will stop being bankrupt and stuff, you know. Mayor, I'm proud of you and your leadership here in this city. It couldn't be better. You know, I wish you was president of the United States. Absolutely. And maybe 2020 you will be.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's a good close. Thank you. Okay, we'll close public comments. If there's any council comments, start with Councilman Dodson.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just have the one, I want to say something about the marijuana dispensaries. For the people who are not here and you're in the audience, if you see any of these, evidence of any of this, please call my office, 310-412. It is 602, and we'll make sure that we have someone come out and take care of it. Like the mayor says, it's not an overnight process. We have to get proof. We can't just close these people up without that proof. So it may seem like a long time, but it's just like justice. It rolls slow, but it's sure. So we'll get it taken care of. The other thing is probably not even city business, but I'd like to congratulate my grandson for his marriage this weekend to his lovely bride, and wish them all the success and love and everything positive that could happen to them. I hope it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Padilla.
Great, thank you, Mayor. A couple of just quick save the dates. So Saturday, September the 10th at noon at North Park in District 2 is my 4th annual picnic and chili cook-off. So if you're interested in being one of the participants in the chili cook-off, please call my office at 412-8601. There's going to be just a limited number of participants for the chili cook-off, and it's open to the city of Inglewood, even though it's held in District 2, but it's a community event. So I encourage everybody to come out, and if you can't not make it, or even if you can't, but then the following Saturday, September 17th, is the Hispanic Heritage event right across the street behind City Hall at Crozier School. and we'll also be having a classic car show at that event. If you have a classic car and you want to participate in the classic car show, please call my office again at 310-412-8601. With that, enjoy the rest of your week, and thank you for coming out this afternoon.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming. I want to do a personal thank you to Hollywood Park Casino for opening up their doors for our last District 4 Town Hall meeting we had in this year, as well as the last Town Hall meeting we will have in that building. This past Saturday on July 30th, we had standing room only of people in attendance. I personally want to reach out to the police department, the Inglewood Police Department, for having Lieutenant Mark Freed to speak to the residents addressing public safety matters, and also in the police department, Ms. Cinder Eller Kimball as our community service officer for also addressing the issues of concern regarding homelessness and homeless encampments. We also recognize the St. Margaret Center, PATH, which is People Assisting the Homeless, and then the Harbor Interfaith, which is all part of our network that we work on reaching out to the homeless and providing them assistance. And so it was well attended again, great information we received. Personal shout out to the Public Works Department, Mr. Lewis Atwell, our director, that talked about a number of major capital improvement projects in District 4 and throughout the city. We had a president of a shopping center that gave a detailed presentation of the Crenshaw Imperial Plaza remodel that's taking place. And then finally, in conclusion, we got surprised where someone just got off the plane from Philadelphia and he went straight from the airport to the District 4 Town Hall meeting, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And she came and spoke specifically regarding EB-5 money, on how foreign investors are now investing into the United States, and particularly in the city of Inglewood, and also about how she has been instrumental on getting funding for us to help our crumbling streets get improved and have the money to be able to make things happen. So thanks to her, we want to give a special recognition for her outstanding leadership and efforts in Congress. And then we concluded with the Hollywood Park development, as well as the new Hollywood Park Casino, where Gerard McCullum II, who's the project manager for the Wilson Meany company, gave a great presentation covering both the progress regarding the stadium, the progress involving the Hollywood Park Casino. It will be a soft opening scheduled sometime in September, but the grand opening for the Hollywood Park Casino will be sometime in November. Again, outstanding. Thank everyone for coming. And I also want to make sure that I acknowledge my new commissioner on the Youth Commission, who also helped my council assistant, Ms. Clyde Matthews, at our information table, Ms. Brianna Chambers, a resident of District 4 as well. Thank you, and everyone have a great day.
Councilman Morales.
Thank you. Just briefly, Ralph did a good job of covering some of the spots we wanted to do, but I did want to congratulate the young lady. You know, it's just a reminder how talented our youth is here. And over the weekend, one of my residents called me about his son, who Inglewood Today did a piece on his cycling career. He's about 16 years old, I believe, and bicycling is such an expensive sport, and he lives right here in my district. He just won the Nationals this last weekend. He won 2 gold medals nationwide, and he competes against folks from areas that are significantly more economically advantaged, and for his family to put it together like that and to see him win 2 gold medals, we're just real proud of him. And his name is Rafael Solorzano. So hopefully, you know, I'll bring him out to the meeting so you guys can meet him as well. Thank you.
You know, we have some streets, 77th, 78th, and I think 79th or 78th place in District 1, run between Van Ness and, I want to say 3rd Avenue. And these streets are concrete streets, you know, and those are the more durable streets. They last longer than paved streets. But they had fallen into disrepair over the years, and they were the most expensive to renovate. And I just want to give a good word out to Public Works, because they promised that by the summer that they would be started upon, and they've ground the streets, and they're ready to refinish them, and it's going to make a huge difference in the quality of life for the people on those streets, because every summer at their block party, they remind me about those streets. And so I can go with my head high this summer. I say that only to be emblematic of the totality of what is happening in the city. Like I said before, we've had the big things. The Forum is number one in the state. We have the Rams coming here. It's likely that a second team will be joining them within a year, I would predict. The new casino, I've toured it. It's going to be a place where people not only go because they want to play card games, it's going to actually be a spot. It's 110,000 square feet, and the majority of it is eating, dining, formal banquet rooms. It's just first class. I was so proud to see it. I toured it last week. I've heard nothing but great things from Councilman Padilla and his people about the community center at La Cienega and Fairview. Old, decrepit gas station that now is a source of pride for the community. And we all know Century Boulevard is in full effect, be done within 18 months. So it isn't just the big things, it's the things that make community life worth living. And Mr. Spencer, I really appreciate you bringing this young lady to show us emblematic of the talent, the beauty that we have in this city. And so we're not just a city that has escaped bankruptcy and actually moved to prosperity. We're a city that is doing great things, but it's populated with great people. And so we welcome you to your first council meeting, young lady. It was a very well-behaved one, and I'm glad for that sake that you saw us at nearly our best. And this weekend on Saturday, they had the memorial for Virgil Benson. He was a councilman in District 4, one of Councilman Franklin's predecessors from 83 to 87, I believe. And it was well attended, and I was honored on behalf of the council to give our remembrances and our respects to him. And with that, we are adjourned.